Tuesday morning, 8:15 a.m. Central Station was packed with people rushing to work. Everyone had somewhere important to be. But one woman was about to make a choice that would shock the world. Her name was Maya Johnson. She was running fast through the crowded station, her heart beating like crazy. In her hand, she held the most important piece of paper of her life, a job interview letter. This wasn't just any job. This was her dream job at Morrison Financial Group. The salary was $60,000 a year, more money than she had ever seen in her entire life. Maya had been working 3 jobs just to pay rent. She cleaned office buildings at night. She served coffee at a small cafe in the morning, and she walked dogs for rich people on weekends. Every single day she worked 16 hours. Her hands were rough from cleaning. Her feet hurt from standing all day, but she never complained. She had a dream. The interview was at 9 a.m. sharp. The train she needed left at 8:20 a.m. If she missed it, the next train wouldn't get her there in time. There would be no second chance. The company had made that very clear. Be on time or don't come at all. Maya looked at her phone. 8:18 a.m., 2 minutes left. She could see the train waiting at the platform. The doors were still open. She was going to make it. Finally, her life was going to change. But then she saw him. An old white man sat alone on a wooden bench near the tracks. He looked confused and scared. His expensive suit was wrinkled. His gray hair was messy. Something was very wrong. While hundreds of people walked past him, he sat there holding his chest, breathing hard. Maya slowed down. She looked at the train. Then she looked at the old man. The train conductor raised his hand. He was about to blow the whistle. Last call for passengers. The old man tried to stand up, but his legs shook. He fell back down on the bench. His face was pale, almost white. He looked around with frightened eyes, like he didn't know where he was. His lips moved, but no words came out. Maya stopped walking. Her interview, her future, everything she had worked for was on that train. In 30 seconds, the doors would close. In 30 seconds, her chance would be gone forever. "Help me," the old man whispered. His voice was so quiet she almost didn't hear it. But she did hear it. And in that moment, Maya knew what she had to do. She dropped her purse and ran to the bench. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked, kneeling down beside him. Behind her, she heard the train whistle blow. She heard the doors close. She heard the train leave the station, taking her dreams with it. The old man looked at her with grateful eyes. "My chest hurts," he said. "I can't remember where I am." Maya pulled out her phone and called 911. "I need an ambulance at Central Station," she said. "There's a man having chest pains." While she waited for help to arrive, she stayed with the old man. She held his hand. She told him everything would be okay. "What's your name?" she asked gently. "Robert," he said. "Robert, I think. I was going somewhere important. But I can't remember where." Maya looked at his expensive clothes, his gold watch, his leather briefcase with the letters RH stamped in gold. This man had money. He was probably someone important. But right now, he was just a scared old man who needed help. The ambulance arrived in 5 minutes. The paramedics checked Robert's heart and blood pressure. "We need to take him to the hospital," they said. "Are you family?" "No," Maya said. "I just found him here." "Please don't leave me," Robert whispered, holding her hand tight. Maya looked around the empty station. Her phone showed 3 missed calls from Morrison Financial Group. They were probably wondering where she was. By now, they had given her job to someone else, but she couldn't leave this old man alone. "I'll come with you," she told him. At the hospital, doctors ran many tests on Robert. Maya sat in the waiting room for 3 hours. She had never been in such a nice hospital. Everything was clean and new. The nurses were kind and professional. This was clearly a place where rich people came when they were sick. Finally, a doctor came out. "Robert is stable," she said. "He had a panic attack that affected his heart. The good news is he's going to be fine. The bad news is he has some memory problems from stress and medication. But you probably saved his life by getting help so quickly." Maya felt relief wash over her. "Can I see him?" In the hospital room, Robert looked much better. His color had returned. His breathing was normal. When he saw Maya, his face lit up. "There's my angel," he said. "The doctors told me what you did. You missed something important to help me, didn't you?" Maya nodded. "A job interview? But it's okay. You needed help." "What kind of job?" Robert asked. "A receptionist position at Morrison Financial Group. It was going to pay $60,000 a year. I've been working 3 jobs just to survive. This would have changed my life." Robert studied her face carefully. "Morrison Financial Group," he repeated slowly. "Tell me, what's your full name?" "Maya Johnson, Maya Johnson," he said thoughtfully. "That's a beautiful name. Maya, I want you to know something. In all my years, I've never met anyone like you. Most people would have taken that train. Most people would have put their own needs first. But you didn't. You chose to help a stranger." Before Maya could respond, the hospital room door opened. A well-dressed man in his 40s walked in, followed by a woman in a business suit. They both looked worried and relieved at the same time. "Dad!" the man said, rushing to Robert's bedside. "Thank God you're okay. When you didn't show up for the board meeting, we were scared something terrible had happened." "Board meeting?" Maya asked quietly. The woman turned to Maya with tears in her eyes. "Are you the woman who helped him? The one who called the ambulance?" "Yes," Maya said. "I'm Sarah, his daughter. And this is my brother, Michael. We can't thank you enough. Our father. He's been under a lot of stress lately. His new heart medicine sometimes makes him confused. If you hadn't found him—" Sarah couldn't finish the sentence, but Maya understood. Robert could have died alone on that bench while hundreds of people walked past him. Michael stepped forward. "What's your name?" "Maya Johnson." Michael and Sarah looked at each other with strange expressions. They seemed to recognize her name, but that was impossible. Maya had never seen these people before in her life. "Maya," Robert said from his bed, "I have something to tell you. Something that's going to change everything." Robert sat up in his hospital bed, his eyes now clear and focused. The confusion from earlier was gone. Maya could see intelligence and strength in his face. This was not just any old man. "Maya," Robert said slowly, "I haven't been completely honest with you. Not because I wanted to lie, but because I was too confused to remember who I am." Maya felt nervous. "What do you mean?" Sarah, Robert's daughter, pulled up a chair next to Maya. "Before we explain, we need you to know something. Our father is Robert Harrison." The name meant nothing to Maya. She looked confused. Michael, Robert's son, smiled gently. "Robert Harrison, the founder of Harrison Industries." Maya still looked confused. She had never heard of Harrison Industries. "Maya," Robert said softly, "Harrison Industries owns Morrison Financial Group, the company where you were supposed to interview this morning. I own the company where you were trying to get a job." The room went completely quiet. Maya stared at Robert, then at Michael and Sarah. This couldn't be real. "That's impossible," Maya whispered. Sarah opened her briefcase and pulled out a tablet. She showed Maya a website. Harrison Industries, founded 1975 by Robert Harrison. Below that was a list of companies they owned. Morrison Financial Group was third on the list. "I don't understand," Maya said, her voice shaking. Robert reached out and took her hand. "Maya, you saved the life of the man who owns the company you wanted to work for. You gave up your job interview to help your future boss, and you had no idea." Maya felt like the room was spinning. She looked at the expensive hospital, the nice clothes everyone was wearing, the respectful way the nurses treated Robert. Everything made sense now. "You're rich," she said quietly. "Very rich," Michael confirmed. "Our father built Harrison Industries from nothing. Today it's worth over $2 billion. $2 billion. Maya couldn't even imagine that much money. She thought about her tiny apartment, her 3 jobs, her empty refrigerator at home. "But there's more," Sarah said gently. "Maya, do you know why our father was at the train station this morning?" Maya shook her head. "He was coming from a very important meeting," Michael explained. "Harrison Industries was about to buy Peterson Tech Company for $500 million. The biggest deal in our company's history. Dad was carrying the final contracts when you found him." If he had collapsed alone, Sarah continued, if no one had helped him, we could have lost the biggest business deal our family has ever made. Maya stared at them. $500 million. She had helped save a $500 million deal. But you didn't know any of this, Robert said, squeezing her hand. When you helped me, you saw a confused old man who needed help. You didn't see dollar signs. You didn't see opportunity. You saw a human being in trouble and you chose to help. Tears started running down Maya's face. I still can't believe this is real. It's real, Robert said. And now I want to do something for you. Something to thank you properly. Robert looked at his children. They nodded. Maya, I'm not going to give you the receptionist job you interviewed for. Maya's heart sank. Even after saving his life, she still wasn't going to get the job. I'm giving you something better, Robert continued. I want you to be my personal assistant. The job pays $120,000 a year, plus health insurance, plus a company car. Maya couldn't speak. $120,000 was twice what the receptionist job paid. It was more money than her 3 jobs combined made in 2 years. But I don't have experience, she managed to say. Experience can be learned, Robert said. Character cannot be taught. And you, Maya Johnson, have more character than anyone I've met in 40 years of business. Sarah smiled at Maya. There's more. We know you've been struggling. We want to pay you your first 3 months' salary today so you can quit those other jobs and focus on getting ready for your new position. Michael pulled out a checkbook. 3 months' salary is $30,000. This should help you get back on your feet. Maya looked at the check Michael was writing. $30,000. She had never seen so much money in her entire life. This can't be happening, she whispered. It's happening, Robert said firmly. Maya, you changed my life today. You reminded me what real kindness looks like. In return, I want to change your life. Maya started crying harder. Happy tears this time. There's one more thing, Sarah said softly. Our father told us you've been working 3 jobs. What are you working so hard for? What's your dream? Maya wiped her eyes. I want to go back to school. I want to study business management. I dropped out of college 5 years ago because I couldn't afford it. I've been trying to save money ever since, but every time I save a little, something happens. My car breaks down or I get sick or rent goes up. I never have enough. Robert, Sarah, and Michael looked at each other again. Maya, Robert said, Harrison Industries has a scholarship program for employees. We'll pay for your college education, all of it. You can study business management at any university you choose. Maya couldn't believe what she was hearing. A job that paid more money than she'd ever dreamed of. $30,000 in cash and a full scholarship to college. Why? She asked through her tears. Why are you doing all this for me? Robert's eyes became serious. Maya, I've been rich for a long time. I've met thousands of people who wanted something from me. Money, jobs, favors, connections. Everyone always wants something. But today, when I was scared and alone, you helped me without knowing who I was. You expected nothing in return. That kind of goodness is rare. He paused, looking out the hospital window at the city below. I've made a lot of money in my life, but I haven't always made the right choices. I've walked past people who needed help because I was too busy making money. I've ignored problems because they weren't profitable to solve. But watching you today, seeing someone choose kindness over personal gain, it reminded me of the man I wanted to be when I started my company. Sarah nodded. Our father has been looking for someone he could trust completely, someone who would help him use our company's success to make the world better. Today, he found that person. Maya, Robert said, I don't just want an employee. I want a partner. Someone who can help me figure out how to use our success to help people like you. People who work hard but never get a fair chance. Maya looked around the hospital room at these 3 wealthy people who were offering to change her entire life. 6 hours ago, she had been rushing to catch a train to interview for a job that paid $60,000. Now, she was being offered a job that paid twice that much, plus money for school, plus the chance to help other people. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Say yes, Robert said with a smile. Maya took a deep breath. Yes, she said. Yes, I accept. But Maya had no idea that her decision to help Robert would create changes much bigger than just her own life. The ripple effects of her kindness were about to spread throughout the entire city. 6 months later, Maya's life looked completely different. She lived in a beautiful apartment with 2 bedrooms, a real kitchen, and windows that let in sunlight. She had a closet full of professional clothes and a reliable car that started every morning. But the biggest change wasn't what she owned. It was what she was doing. "Good morning, Mr. Harrison," Maya said, walking into Robert's office at Harrison Industries headquarters. The building was 40 floors of glass and steel in downtown Chicago. Maya's office was on the 38th floor, with a view of the entire city. "Maya, how many times do I have to tell you to call me Robert?" he said with a laugh. "At least 100 more times," Maya replied, settling into the chair across from his desk. This had become their morning routine. In 6 months, Maya had learned more about business than in her entire life. Robert had personally taught her about finance, management, and leadership. But Maya had taught Robert something too. She had shown him what their company looked like from the bottom up. "The Community Support Program report," Maya announced, opening her laptop. "Give me the numbers," Robert said, leaning forward with interest. "In 6 months, we've helped 347 families," Maya reported. "We've paid for medical bills, car repairs, and rent for employees who were struggling. We've given out 82 scholarships for college and trade school, and we've created a food bank that feeds 200 families every week." Robert shook his head in amazement. "When I hired you, I thought I was getting an assistant. Turns out I hired a revolutionary." The community support program had been Maya's idea. She understood what struggling families actually needed. Not just charity, but real help that preserved dignity. Not handouts, but opportunities. "The best part," Maya continued, "is that other companies are copying us. Morrison Financial Group reports that employee satisfaction is at an all-time high. People work harder when they know their company cares about them." "Speaking of Morrison Financial Group," Robert said, "I have news. The board voted yesterday to promote you to Director of Community Relations." Maya stared at him. Director was a major leadership position in the company. "Robert, I've only been here 6 months. And in 6 months, you've created programs that are changing people's lives." "Maya, you understand something that took me 40 years to learn. Taking care of people isn't just the right thing to do. It's good business." Maya thought about her old life. 6 months ago, she had been cleaning office buildings at night, serving coffee in the morning, and walking dogs on weekends. Now she was a director at one of the city's biggest companies. But the changes went far beyond Maya's life. The community support program had helped hundreds of families, but it had also changed the culture at Harrison Industries. Employees were encouraged to volunteer in their communities. The company partnered with local schools to provide mentoring programs. They hosted monthly dinners for families in need. "Remember the 3 jobs you used to work?" Robert asked. "How could I forget? I visited Murphy's Cafe last week. The owner, Eddie, told me business has been great ever since Harrison Industries started ordering coffee for all our meetings. He was able to hire 3 new employees." Maya smiled. Eddie had been good to her when she worked there. He always let her take home leftover sandwiches at the end of her shift. "And the cleaning company you worked for at night?" "Premier Cleaning Services. We gave them the contract to clean all Harrison Industries buildings. The owner called to thank me personally. Said it was the biggest contract in their company's history." Maya felt warmth spread through her chest. Her old co-workers were benefiting from her success. "There's more," Robert continued. "Do you remember Janet, the woman who walked dogs with you?" "Of course." "She's studying to be a veterinarian. Harrison Industries just funded a scholarship program at the University of Chicago Veterinary School. Janet was the first recipient." Maya's eyes filled with tears. Janet had always dreamed of helping animals, but veterinary school was expensive. Now her dream was coming true. "Robert, why are you doing all this?" "Because you showed me that success isn't about how much money you make. It's about how many lives you improve. Every person we help becomes someone who can help others. The kindness spreads. Robert walked to his window, looking out at the city below. Maya, when I started this company, I wanted to build something that mattered. But somewhere along the way, I got focused on profit instead of purpose. You reminded me of what really matters. Maya joined him at the window. 40 floors below, she could see Central Station, where everything had started 6 months ago. I still can't believe this is my life, she said quietly. Believe it. And get ready, because it's about to get even more interesting. What do you mean? Robert handed her an envelope. Open it. Inside was a letter from the Chicago Business Council. Maya read it twice before she understood what it said. They want to give me an award? The Community Leadership Award. You're being recognized for the Community Support Program. The ceremony is next month, and it will be televised citywide. Maya stared at the letter. 6 months ago, she had been invisible. No one knew her name or cared about her dreams. Now she was being honored by the city's most important business leaders. There's something else, Robert said, his voice becoming more serious. The mayor's office called. They want to meet with you about expanding the community support program citywide. They think what we've done at Harrison Industries could work for the entire city. Maya felt overwhelmed. Robert, I'm just a woman who helped a stranger at a train station. No, Maya. You're a woman who chose kindness when it cost you everything. And that choice has created ripples that are changing our entire city. Maya's phone buzzed with a text message. It was from her neighbor, Mrs. Washington, an elderly woman who lived alone. Maya, I saw you on the news again. I'm so proud of you. You're proof that good things happen to good people. Maya showed the text to Robert. See? He said, you're inspiring people you don't even know. The story of what you did has spread throughout the city. People are talking about kindness again. They're talking about helping each other. That evening, Maya drove through her old neighborhood. She passed the apartment where she used to live, the bus stop where she waited every morning, the corner store where she counted pennies to buy groceries. Everything looked the same, but everything was different. Because now Maya wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. And she was helping others thrive, too. At a red light, she saw a woman struggling with a broken-down car. Without thinking, Maya pulled over to help. The woman needed a ride to work. Maya drove her there, making her late for her own evening plans. Thank you so much, the woman said as she got out of Maya's car. I can't believe a stranger would help me like this. Maya smiled. Just paying it forward. As she drove home, Maya realized something. The award ceremony, the new job title, the money, none of that mattered as much as this moment. Helping someone who needed help, just like Robert had needed help 6 months ago. But Maya didn't know that her story was about to reach far beyond Chicago. A video of her helping Robert at the train station was about to go viral nationwide, and that would bring changes no one could have predicted. 1 year later, Maya stood in front of a mirror in her hotel room in New York City. She was wearing a navy blue dress that actually fit properly, something that would have been impossible just a year ago. In a few hours, she would be speaking at the National Conference on Corporate Social Responsibility. Companies from all over America wanted to learn about the Harrison model of business. Her phone rang. It was Robert. Maya, are you ready for your big moment? I'm nervous, she admitted. A year ago, I was serving coffee. Now I'm supposed to teach business leaders how to run their companies. You're not teaching them how to run their companies, Robert said gently. You're teaching them how to care about people. And that's something you've always known how to do. Maya looked out her hotel window at the busy New York streets below. Thousands of people rushing to work just like she used to do, each one with their own struggles, their own dreams. Robert, did you see the morning news? The feature story about you? Of course. I'm proud of you, Maya. The story had been about Maya's journey from working 3 jobs to becoming one of the most respected voices in corporate America. But it had also been about something bigger. It had been about the power of one person's kindness to change the world. The video of Maya helping Robert at Central Station had been watched over 50 million times. People all over the country were sharing stories of their own acts of kindness. The hashtag #ChooseKindness had been trending for months. "Maya," Robert continued, "I have some news. The president's office called this morning." "The president of what?" "The president of the United States. He wants to meet with you about creating a national program based on what we've done in Chicago." Maya sat down heavily on the hotel bed. The president. She was going to meet the president. "This is too much, Robert. Don't you dare say you're just a woman who helped a stranger," Robert interrupted. "Maya, you've helped thousands of people. The community support program has been copied by over 200 companies nationwide. You've created jobs, funded scholarships, and inspired a movement that's changing how American businesses treat their employees." It was true. In the past year, Maya had spoken at conferences in 30 states. The Harrison model, treating employees like family, supporting communities, and measuring success by lives improved rather than just profits, had been adopted by companies from California to New York. But the most amazing part was the ripple effect. Every company that adopted the Harrison model helped more families. Those families had more opportunities. Their children got better educations. Their communities became stronger. "Maya, do you remember what you told me the day we met? You said you wanted to study business management." "Yes." "Well, Harvard Business School called yesterday. They want you to teach a course on community-focused business practices." Maya almost dropped the phone. Harvard. She was going to teach at Harvard. "How is this my life?" she whispered. "It's your life because you chose to help someone when it cost you everything," Robert said. And that choice changed the world. 2 hours later, Maya walked onto the stage at the national conference. The auditorium was packed with CEOs, business leaders, and entrepreneurs. A year ago, she would have been intimidated. Now, she had something important to say. "Good morning," Maya said into the microphone. "My name is Maya Johnson. 18 months ago, I was working 3 jobs just to survive. I cleaned office buildings at night, served coffee in the morning, and walked dogs on weekends. I was on my way to a job interview that could have changed my life when I saw an old man who needed help." The audience was completely quiet, listening to every word. "I had 30 seconds to catch my train. 30 seconds to get to my interview. 30 seconds to change my future. But that old man was scared and alone, and I couldn't walk past him." Maya paused, looking out at the hundreds of faces in the audience. "I missed my train. I missed my interview. And I thought I had ruined my life. But what I actually did was save a life. And in return, that man, Robert Harrison, saved mine." The audience applauded, but Maya raised her hand for quiet. "But this story isn't really about me and Robert. It's about what happened next. It's about the power of kindness to create change that goes far beyond what we can imagine." Maya clicked to her first slide. It showed statistics from the past year. The community support program that started at Harrison Industries has now helped over 10,000 families nationwide. We've funded 1,500 college scholarships. We've created 8,000 new jobs. We've provided health care for families who couldn't afford it. We've fed communities and housed the homeless. The next slide showed a map of the United States with dots marking every company that had adopted the Harrison model. But the real success isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in hope. Hope for single mothers who can now afford childcare. Hope for students who thought college was impossible. Hope for families who were one emergency away from losing everything. Maya told story after story. The single father in Detroit who got promoted because his company started investing in employee education. The grandmother in Phoenix who received free medical care through her daughter's company's expanded health care program. The teenager in Miami who got a full scholarship to study engineering. "Every act of kindness creates ripples," Maya said. "When we help one person, we don't just change their life. We change the lives of everyone they touch, their children, their communities, their future." After her speech, Maya was surrounded by business leaders asking questions. How do you identify families who need help? How do you maintain profits while increasing community investment? How do you measure the success of kindness? But the question that touched Maya's heart came from a young woman at the back of the crowd. "Ms. Johnson, I work 3 jobs, just like you used to. I'm struggling to pay rent and buy groceries. Sometimes I feel invisible, like no one sees how hard I'm working. What would you tell someone like me? Maya walked over to the young woman. What's your name? Sarah. Sarah, I want you to know that someone does see you. I see you. And more importantly, you see yourself. The fact that you're working 3 jobs tells me you're strong. The fact that you're here today tells me you have dreams. Hold on to those dreams. And remember that your current situation is not your final destination. Maya pulled out a business card. Call me next week. Harrison Industries is expanding, and we need people who understand what hard work looks like. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Really? Really? And Sarah? Someday when you're successful, remember to help someone else who's struggling. That's how we change the world, one person at a time. Later that evening, Maya sat in her hotel room, reflecting on the day. Her phone was full of messages from people who had watched her speech online. Stories of kindness inspired by her example, plans to help communities, dreams of making a difference. Robert called just before she went to sleep. How did it go? It was amazing, Robert. But you know what the best part was? Tell me. I met a young woman who reminded me of myself 18 months ago. She's struggling, working 3 jobs, feeling invisible, and I got to tell her that her life can change, that someone believes in her. And you hired her? I offered her an interview, just like you gave me a chance. Robert was quiet for a moment. Maya, do you remember what I told you the day we met? I said I didn't want an employee. I wanted a partner, someone who could help me use our success to help people. I remember. You've become so much more than that. You've become a teacher, an inspiration, a leader. You've shown the entire country that businesses can be profitable and caring at the same time. Maya looked out her hotel window at the lights of New York City. Millions of people, each with their own struggles and dreams. Robert, when I was rushing to catch that train 18 months ago, I never imagined that missing it would lead to this. That's the beautiful thing about kindness, Maya. We never know how far it will reach. Your choice to help one person has now helped thousands, and those thousands will help thousands more. The ripples go on forever. After hanging up, Maya thought about the teenager she used to be, dreaming of a better life but not knowing how to achieve it. She thought about the woman she had become, with the power to make those dreams come true for others. Tomorrow, she would fly back to Chicago. She would return to her office at Harrison Industries, where she would continue finding new ways to help families and communities. She would work on expanding the community support program to even more companies. She would teach the course at Harvard. She would meet with the president. But tonight, she was just Maya Johnson, a woman who had chosen kindness over opportunity and discovered that sometimes the best opportunities come from the kindest choices. Outside her window, 8 million people went to sleep in New York City, and because of Maya's story, some of them would wake up tomorrow with a little more hope, a little more faith in human goodness, a little more willingness to help a stranger. The train Maya missed 18 months ago had taken her somewhere far more important than a job interview. It had taken her to a life of purpose, meaning, and the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing that your choices have made the world a better place. And the most beautiful part, this was just the beginning.